It's time to transplant these pepper seedlings from their tray of sterilized soil into individual pots. Downstairs I prepared a soil mix. It's about 1/3 garden soil, 1/3 vermiculite, 1/3 perlite. And I've dampened the pots with some water. I've also dampened the seed flat with some water to facilitate extraction of the little plants. You need some kind of a tool to extract the plants, and when you do so, you don't want to pinch them by the stem. You want to hold them by the leaves. I opt to use a fork, but you could use whatever tool you think works. Gently pry the plant out, damaging the root system as little as possible. And then transfer it to your pot of prepared soil, planting it roughly the same depth that it was in the seed flat, perhaps just a little bit deeper. Firm the soil around it gently and move on to the next plant. Sometimes you might have to tease them apart if they're closely spaced, and this is also the time to make your first selection of the best plants. This is a reject, this one is a keeper. Because I have 3 different kinds of peppers in this flat, once I'm done with this process, I want to be sure that I label each one with a tag so I know which is which come transplanting time when they graduate to the outdoors. So I finished transplanting a green bell pepper called Yankee Bell. This is an open pollinated variety that I've been saving seeds from for years. Now I'm working on a variety called Hungarian Hot Wax, which is also an open pollinated pepper. And you can see this beautiful seedling, what a wonderful root system it has. That's a prime transplant and a prime plant. Very healthy, great root system, nice and strong. That's what we're looking for. Once again, I'm just using my fork and I'm gently teasing these apart, handling them by the leaves, and popping them into their individual pot where they can grow. Once I get these all transplanted, I'll give them a drink of water to settle the soil around the roots. And in a few days when they need water again, I'll probably start giving them a fertilizer water solution. That can consist of a chemical type such as Miracle-Gro, or an organic type such as Manure Tea, or liquid seaweed fertilizer that you can buy. Whichever you prefer. All would work well. And here we have our last Hungarian Hot Wax Pepper. I just wanted to show you what a beautiful transplant that is. Again, a wonderful root system, beautiful leaves at the top. Contrast that with these 2 rejects that I tossed aside. There's no comparison with the difference. Obviously, the root system is not as well established, and neither is the green top. So we're going to discard those in favor of this beauty right here. And I'm going to gently transplant it to my last pot. So as you can see, I still have one variety of pepper here in my seedling tray. It's called King of the North. It's also a bell pepper. Even though these were planted on the same date in February as my other peppers, they're lagging a little bit behind. So I'm not going to transplant these today. I'm going to let them get a little bit bigger. As you can see, they're true leaves, which are the second leaves to emerge. The first leaves are called seed leaves. The second set of leaves, called true leaves, are not as well developed and pronounced as they are on this pepper. So I'm going to leave these for a little bit longer. But there are some vegetables that it is time to get their seeds started. Here in Zone 5 on the east coast of Nova Scotia, we've determined that it's time to get broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and early cabbage started. I will not be starting my storage cabbage until about a month from now. Otherwise, they mature too soon, too early. They get very large and then they crack, and a cracked cabbage will not store very long in the root cellar. So we'll wait for about a month before we get our storage cabbage started, but I can plant the early cabbage. Once again, I always begin with a marker to identify what seeds are which. You can use popsicle sticks for this purpose, like I did with this here, or you can buy markers or tags from seed catalogs or garden centers. It so happens, I believe I cut up a bleach bottle, empty bleach bottle, and made my own markers. In any event, you want to label them with a permanent marker so that when you water, you aren't washing away your label. To plant, I'm going to stick a marker in my seedling tray, and I'm going to make a furrow, just a very shallow furrow with my finger, just like this. And then I'm going to pour some seeds from my packet. This happens to be an early variety of cabbage called Early Jersey Wakefield. We've grown this for years. Again, this is an open pollinated variety, so I could save seeds from it if I wanted to. To plant, I just pinch some of the seed between my thumb and my index finger like this, and then I just roll my thumb and index finger back and forth, and as I do, the little teeny tiny seeds pop out and they land in my furrow. And when I've planted the amount of seeds that I want, I will take again my thumb and my index finger, and I just pinch the soil over the little furrow where the seeds are, and then I gently tap it down so that the seeds are in good contact with the soil. Then when I'm ready to plant my next item, which in this case happens to be Brussels sprouts, I'm going to stick my marker in there, and I will continue planting the same way. And once again, when these plants get their true leaves, I will be transplanting them into individual pots, just like I did the peppers today. So I'm just transplanting these by rolling them between my thumb and my index finger. This seed is pretty old, so I'm going to plant it pretty thick in the hopes that I get the 6 or 8 Brussels sprout plants that I want. And then cover that up, and when everything is planted, I'll take my little shaker bottle. I've determined that using an empty spice bottle with a little shaker top like this, and just gently watering, sort of mimics a gentle rain. I'm not washing the seeds out of the soil that I just planted. And then I'll take a piece of plastic wrap, cover this up to keep the moisture in, and in a few days the seeds should pop.